Hare Krishna, Bishan and Duti.
Hare Krishna, Dada.
Thank you for taking your time out for joining this discussion on JAM. Both Duti and Bishan are currently studying at the Indian Statistical Institute, and both of them have cracked the JAM examination in the year 2024. Here they will be sharing their experiences, and I hope the aspirants who will be appearing this year will get benefit from it. So, Bishan and Duti, my first question is, can you share what were your preparation strategies for this exam? So, Duti, you can start.
So, for the preparation, I mainly used to attend my college classes sincerely, like follow the classes, take notes, and like get all the concepts cleared as and when it was being taught. After that, I solved the past papers. Like I focused a lot on the past papers, the kind of questions, the topics that were being focused on, and like those were mainly how I kept practicing problems and getting the concepts clear, referring to the syllabus time and again to ensure that I cover everything. This is mainly how I.
Bishan.
Yes, so my preparation strategy was also the same as Duty, actually quite similar. We are also friends back in like we were from the same college, so we discussed with each other while preparing. And so like I also like referred to my college notes a lot. Like they help. I would say that they are the thing that helped me the most while preparing for JAM. And apart from that, like I would take help from my teachers in St. Xavier's College and also from my tuition teachers. And just before the JAM exam, that is from December of 2023, I started giving mock tests. And from in January, I kept the entire of January for solving PYQs and mock tests. So from I think our syllabus changed from 2015 for mathematical statistics, and I solved all the previous year papers from 2025 to 2023 in January. And like most of it was done in class.
Okay. So, during this preparation, have you noticed any mistakes that your friends or yourself were you are making that you realized retrospectively? Yeah, Diti.
So one thing like some senior of mine had given me this advice that the syllabus of JAM is not really very big. So it's actually like pretty it can be covered very easily. So while referring, you should always instead of like you take up a topic and you're reading whatever you find on that, referring to the syllabus and like covering the topics that are mentioned there in details would be of great help. Like that makes the process easier and you're like able to do better. Like you don't have it's always good to know extra stuff, but like from the very exam, like you need to crack the exam from that perspective, just the syllabus should be followed very rigorously. Like don't leave out any topic that's there in the syllabus.
Bishan.
Yeah, so like one thing that I that I've seen that other others making a mistake is like people don't really realize the importance of college or even coaching or tuition classes. Like many people used to bunk classes without any proper reason, but like I think they impact a lot. And I'm not saying this like just a month before jam, like everyone becomes very serious in the last 2 or 3 months, but you need to keep that consistency and attend classes regularly from I think 1 or 1.5 years ahead of jam. Like even if you don't give even even 1 hour time daily, but at least try to attend the classes. That is very important.
Okay. One common advice aspirants blindly follow that you think is overrated or misleading.
Generally, you're giving the exam after your bachelor's. So, like, you have almost completed 5 semesters of your bachelor's, and then you're giving the exam. So, like, if you start your bachelor's classes, you're in same one, and you start like looking at the past papers, trying to solve those questions. you would not be able to do it because you don't have that knowledge that is required to solve those problems. So that can be very demotivating. Like after my first year, if I open a notes, I am not being able to solve anything. That will make me used to make me feel like I cannot do this. But then, so like give it time. Over time, you'll be able to do it. So like maybe after your third, or like keep practicing whatever you can, but like don't be disheartened if you can't really do everything as soon as you start your bachelor's.
My point is also the same as Duti's, but I would just like to add that sometimes we try to solve the previous year's question papers, like the entire paper, when we are around 70 or 80% of our syllabus covered. But like some of the very important topics like inference, they are taught generally in semester 4, just like the semester before jam in or semester 5. And if you start solving in inference without knowing everything in inference that you need to, then you will get stuck, and often you will get bad marks while solving pyqs, and that can lead to a loss in confidence, and you might want to like not give jam or something like that. So don't solve the pyqs before you finish the entire syllabus.
Okay. So, Bishan, both of you have mentioned that you have given your mocks around December or January. So,
Yes.
how should ideally one give mock tests?
Hmm.
So I believe like whenever you're attempting a mock test, try to make the environment as similar to the actual environment as possible. Like there should not be any distractions, and like you should not be like doing something else like checking WhatsApp or stuff. Like those 3 hours, just be very focused on the exams, just how you would be in the exam hall. And like the timing. So if the exam is generally on the morning or the afternoon shift, I forgot. So like whatever shift it is, try to follow that pattern. So if it's from 2 to 5, give your exams from 2 to 5 only, the mocks. And I personally used to do it as soon as I give the. I used to mainly solve the past papers, treat them as the mock papers. So after having completed that, I would like keep a notebook where I would like mark, like I would look at the answers keys and match my answers. Wherever I went wrong, I would make a note of that. This is the concept which I where I went wrong. These are the kind of mistakes I'm making. So like analyzing that pattern. So after you give the mock test, you should analyze where you went wrong, why you're going wrong, and like how you can improve yourself. So like silly mistakes or like basic errors in reproducing the formulas, those things should be avoided. So analyze how the test went after completing it, and like
Okay.
keeping a track of your marks, like how you are improving or like how it's going over time. So that kind of help. So you should like always try to improve from one mock to the next one.
I'd like to add the point that we should give our mock tests 3 hours at a stretch. Like I've seen some of my friends who used to give the mocks. Suppose first they solve the MCQ for 1 hour 30 minutes, then they take a break of 10 or 20 minutes, then they'll be solving the NAT or MSQ. But I think in JAM you won't be getting that free time, right? So you should give them at 3 hours at a stretch, and as Duty said, the environment should be as similar to jam as possible. Also in the jam website you can find one mock test. So if you can give mock test in some similar application, that is helpful, because using the calculator is very important in during the exam. Some people like if you're not accustomed to use the digital calculator, then it might lead to a loss of time. And also I would prefer to give the mock tests and jam after you have completed the syllabus. So I'd suggest that complete the syllabus within December of the previous year you're giving the jam, like 1 month or 1.5 months before your jam.
Okay. So, as you have mentioned that to recreate a atmosphere that is similar to jam. So, when I was appearing for the jam, there was at that time Corona. So I used to wear mask and then give the mock test at the home. So yeah, that is how you should give a mock. Next is, how did you deal with self-doubt during preparation, or low mock scores if you have got any.
So when I started, my first mock test was one of the past year's papers. Uh, I googled a lot. I found the marks versus rank, the kind of comparisons tables that were available, and like I saw my rank would be somewhere around whatever it was. It was a three-digit rank that would definitely not get me into any of the IITs. So that was very, like, it was very bad. Like, but what I was like, there was no way to like. Only thing you can do is to improve it. So I kept going at it. There was a phase I would give three mock tests in one day. So it was almost a 2 3 week phase where I would be giving three mock tests in one day, and it helped a lot. But like you can't lose hope. You have to like, okay, maybe this time I couldn't do well. Okay, I'll do it again. So next time I will improve myself. So
So
you
where
have
did
to
you
like
get so many mock
you have to
papers?
keep going. Like maybe I couldn't do it this time. Next time I can.
So where did you get so many mock papers? Like you were giving three
So
mocks.
like during
Uh-huh.
one such phases, one of my seniors said this. Consider there are so many seats in IIT. One is reserved for you. All you have to do is just give your best to ensure that it stays yours. So like assume it's yours. Just work for it.
Okay.
So if I had a bad mock test, then I would just solve an easy past year question paper, like a very easy one. I think I don't recollect it correctly, but I think 2015 was quite easy. That was the first paper, so that was quite easy. And if I'm not wrong, 2018 was also very easy. And our jam paper, like 2024 jam, that was I think the easiest. So I think these three papers can help you a lot. Like when you are low in confidence, just give one of those easy papers and just get a good score. And other than that, what you can do is you can just always need to note what are the mistakes that you made. If not what mistake, then at least what are the sums in which you are making a mistake, so that you can always come back and solve those sums. So after you have got a low score, you give yourself some unlimited time and try to solve the mock paper and solve every question and properly, like not like in jam style. Like we often solve some MCQs, like we know that this is the option that is going to be correct. We do not solve it completely. Don't do that. Like take unlimited time and completely solve the mock paper. That also helps, because sometimes in time pressure you make some mistakes and get a low score. So when you have so much time, then you often get a good score, and then you feel that yes, I could have scored much better, and like I have a good chance at cracking jam.
Okay. So can you share what were your exam strategies in the final day of the exam?
One thing that I did was like I have practiced enough. Now what happens? I'll have to give my best. Other than that, nothing is in my control. So the first thing is like you have to stay calm no matter what happens. You have to like, okay, I need to calm down. I need to solve every problem. I need to like every minute I spend panicking, it will be me losing out on time. So you have to like, okay, I can't solve this. Like first few problems, I can't solve it. Okay, I'll skip it. I'll go to the next problem. Like out of all the questions, there will be at least some you can do. Some will be very easy. So start with them. Gradually increase the level. And like at that point, don't like think that maybe this person will do this much. I need to do this much. No, like do whatever. Give your best, and then we'll see what happens. Like, don't think about what the result will be, what the rank will be, what the marks will be, what happens if I don't get it during those 3 hours. You have studied a lot, so those 3 hours, give your best.
Uh, I totally agree with Duti. Like you should always be calm. That is the most important thing. Important thing, I believe. And other than what she said, I would also share my exam strategies. So like many of my friends had a lot of fancy strategies, but like I didn't have anything. Like some of them would start from the 2 marks MCQ. Some of them will start from the NATs, but I kept it plain and simple. Just go from question 1 to question 60, and And if sometimes I got stuck, obviously, a lot of times during the mock test, especially because the mock tests were generally tougher than the original jams. And at that time, what I would do is NAT 1 marks question were generally easy. I observed that. So whenever I got stuck, either I would just keep on giving more time to the questions which I couldn't solve, or I would just skip all of them and go to NAT 1 marks questions. But initially, I kept the mindset that I will go from question 1 to question 60.
So
Also,
have you?
I think also another thing is that like if time management is very important. So what I tried to do, but I couldn't, obviously, was that just go from question 1 to question 16, 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes or something. And then for the last 30 minutes, I'll again visit them. But obviously, the plans don't go to plans in most of the situations. And so, but you can always have that in mind. Like in JAM 2024, it was so easy that I finished my paper in 2 hours, but I couldn't solve 19 questions. I remember I had solved 41 out of the 60 questions. And then in the last 1 hour, when I went back to those 19 questions, I could solve most of them. So that's a good thing, I think.
Okay. So you are telling that you're saying that the exam was really easy. The paper was really easy in your year. So,
Yes.
but you
Because
are.
like I remember one direct question where we were given it was an exponential this distribution.
Yeah.
What would be the mean of this random variable? So
And the mean was directly given.
yeah, like
I
that was like if it's exponential lambda, the mean would be
Yeah.
like lambda or 1 by lambda, like depending on the definition.
I remember our paper 2021 paper. It was so difficult. I don't know whether you have felt it difficult or not, but when I opened
When
the, yeah, 2021, it was made by
Yes, it
IIT.
was difficult. Like
2021,
2021, 22,
23.
and 23 were difficult.
So 2021 was
Yeah,
so
22
difficult.
was
Yeah. So it was made by IISc for the first time, and when I was just the exam just started, and I'm seeing that this paper I have to face, and my earlier data points were so easy compared to this, and each question I'm attempting I am unable to solve. Like so, then it was very difficult. But yeah, but suppose any aspirant this year, it can happen that the question can be tough. So if someone is facing any tough questions, so how should be their mentality? Like how should they face that? Duti.
okay. So this was one of the strategies that I used. I would complete one topic and like go through the questions related to those topics from the past papers, and then like while doing this, I would keep the last 3 4 years paper untouched. Those I would attempt as mocks. So this happened practice till 2019 or 2020, I don't remember. And then so when I started sitting for 2020 to 23 as the mock papers, as Moinaka mentioned, so 21 paper, it was like I was practicing these problems. Where did these come from? So that was like very difficult. So, like, remember, it's difficult for everyone. You just have to give your best. Like, if it's a new situation for you, it's a new situation for everyone. Everyone is struggling equally. You just, like, maybe out of the 60 questions, normally you could do 50. Now you would be able to do 30. So, whatever you can do it calmly. Like, don't be like, I'm not being able to solve as many questions as I had wanted to solve. I'm not being able to score as much as I wanted to. So, uh, that should not be affecting how you are performing in the other questions. So silly mistakes, careless mistakes, not reading the questions properly. Also, like try to whenever you are facing a difficult question, try to break down each part. Like write down what information is being given, what information is being asked for, and whatever methods you have learned, whatever techniques you know, try to apply. Like maybe you'll be able to do it. So like deal with it with a calm mind.
Okay. Visham?
Yeah. So I would take a break of around 20 or 30 seconds if I'm like stuck somewhere. It helps to reset sometimes. And then as I mentioned that I would go to NAT and start solving 1 marks NATs. Like they are comparatively easier. So just you need to get some momentum. And or I would suppose like I'm stuck in questions 2 to 7, suppose in some mock test. They are the 1 mark MCQ. It happened to me in one of the mock tests. What I did was I started from question 30 and back, like question 30, then 29, and I solved the entire MCQ like that. And then I went to MSQ and NAT as they were. And like whenever also another strategy that might be helpful to some of you, not to all of you, is that you can just go through all the questions and keep reading them. Whenever you find an easy question, give some time and solve it. And like keep the threshold very lenient. Like even if it is a medium difficulty question, then just leave it for later. Just solve all the easy questions from 1 to 60, and then after you have like finished question till question 60, then come back to the questions which you have skipped. There will be many questions that you have skipped, and some people might panic in that time. So this is like double edged. So choose your strategy.
Another thing I would like, there's this option mark for review, like save your answer and mark for review, those different kind of options. So when, if you're going through all the 60 questions, you can take help of that. Like you come across a question, you know you can do it, but it's gonna take some time to do the calculations, mark it for review. So like, it's easier to keep track of which question you need to come back to. Not all, maybe you know that this I won't be able to solve no matter what I do. So keep them from the for the very end. Like if you think it's lengthy, skip it for the time being. You can come back to it.
So many students actually guess the MCQs and MSQs. So MSQs has no harm in guessing actually because there is no negative marking, but in MCQs there is a negative marking. So should one guess, or if one guesses, how much should he or she guess?
Well, I didn't do much guesswork. So I was like, if I can do it, I'll do it. I'm not gonna take that chance. Like if you're like almost sure, like this is what the answer should be, uh, you can take it. So I would go for like 4 questions. Like out of 5 questions, you get one right, the other 4 wrong. You'll be getting zero. So keeping that in mind, I would like go for four questions that I do correct. I'll take 2 guesses, something like that. Or like maybe, yeah, not more than 2 guesses. So that was my personal calculation.
So I would also not guess a lot. And while solving the PYQs at home or the mock tests, I would never guess, because if you guess during the mock test or the PYQs, then like they don't reflect what you are actually capable of. But in obviously in JAM you would guess, and in NAT, yeah, especially in NAT, like I would guess 0 or 1 something. Just guess 0 or 1. Those are the two easy options, or even 0.5. It's a if it's a probability thing, or 0.67, something like that. But for the MCQs which have negative marking, like you all have statistics. You are giving appearing for JAM in statistics. So just calculate expected value. If you calculate like that, you can easily see that if you have 3 options, like you are confused between 3 options, then if you guess, then I think the expected marks was 0. I'm forgetting it, was it 3 or all 4? But you can do the calculation. And but I didn't follow that. So if I was like confused between two of the options, I would often guess, but like intuition is very important. And and also the second thing that I would like to say is, while looking at the options, you often build some intuition. If you can trust that intuition, then guess it. I had guessed a lot based on intuition, but they are not random guesses. They are a bit educated guess. Uh, yeah, that's all.
Okay.
So like no random guesses, as Bishwan mentioned, like educated guesses are like good. And another thing is like for the numerical answer type questions, there often would be like round off to 2 decimal places, or like they had some instruction like in the like somewhere there was the instruction given in the first page or somewhere that these many decimal places are acceptable. Your answer should be within this range. So try to like keep that in mind.
Correct. So while in the exam, so if suppose you are facing some difficult problems, because some problems are difficult in every exam, so how should we avoid doing silly mistakes?
Silly mistakes, it's mainly through practice. Like you practice so much, like when you are writing the expectation of a random variable that follows some standard distribution, you will know, you can look at it and you know that the answer is wrong. So, like for example, you're like a very silly example would be you're getting variance to be negative. You know something is wrong. So, like get an idea about what can be right and what cannot be the right answer. So this comes mainly through going through the past papers. Like that's how it happened for me. I practiced the past papers so much that I would be like, this cannot be the answer. So you'll get that intuition at one point.
Another thing that I would like to add is you can recheck your calculation, but not in the usual way that we refer to. Like if you recheck all of your calculation, then it is time consuming and you don't have so much time. So there are some steps which require a lot of calculation. Like suppose you are playing that the problems of probability and dice, basic probability and dice. Sometimes if you have 3 or 4 dice, then the denominator is 216 or 6 power 4, and those calculations sometimes get messy. So only those steps you can check twice, and just to be extra sure. And other than that, obviously practice, as Duti mentioned. You can practice and get good at calculations. But I don't think calculation is a very big issue in jam. So some like for silly mistakes, the I made a lot more silly mistakes while looking at the options. And I didn't have a lot to calculate. I knew the right option was suppose option A, but somehow I gave option C as the correct option. That was mainly due to lack of confidence, or and I would give you an example from my jam 2024 experience. While I was attempting it, so as I mentioned, in my first attempt I solved 41 out of the 60 questions. Then I went back and tried to solve all the questions, and then there was no I didn't follow any rule. Like I just randomly picked a question and tried to solve it. If I couldn't, I went to another question. So it happened that like 10 questions were left and I had 30 minutes. So I looked at a question. It was there were two it was asked that which of the statements are not correct. So there were two options which were expectation of something was something. There were two estimators, I think, T1 and T2. So expectation of T1 was something, expectation T2 was something. So by looking at the question only, you can understand that those options are correct. So those options naturally won't be your answer. And the other two options were variances of the estimators. And calculating the variance would take a lot of time. I realized that. So I skipped that question and saved it for later. Later, when I came back to that question, I still had it in the back of my mind that the first two options are correct. So those two won't be my answer. So I just calculated the variance of both. But while calculating the variance of both, and since I had come back later, I had completely forgotten that they were asking which of the option is false. And I calculated the variance correctly, but chose the option which is true. So you need to be very alert.
Yes, correct. There's like sometimes they ask which of the statements are false or which of the statements are is true. So this needs to be taken into account.
Like silly mistake. Another thing is like when you are saving, ensure you save your answers properly, or like you somehow like you have selected one answer and then you're trying to scroll or something. Oftentimes the answer like just shifts. So you selected C and you try to scroll down, it goes to D. So ensure that those kind of problems do not arise.
So both of you, how have you utilized your final month before the JAM examination?
For the past 1 month, like whenever I used to like look at a topic from the past paper or from the syllabus and complete all questions related to that from the past papers, I would keep a track of which were the important concepts from that topic, the important formulas that needed to be remembered. And this has to be personalized. Like I might be having difficulty in remembering the mean and variance of a distribution, while someone else might be able to do it very easily. So whatever is important for you, whatever you are uh, prone to forgetting, you make a list of that, and before, like the 1 month before the exam, you just keep revising those, go through the syllabus that you have covered everything, and like uh, solving the problems again and again, looking at which are your weak points, but also focusing on your strong areas. Like, I know this, so you ignore it and then you actually forget stuff. That should not be happening. However, another thing is 1 2 days before the exam, like right before the exam, do not attempt any new mock test. Like, do not attempt new mock tests. Just lightly revise whatever you have done. Don't take stress in those 2 days. So that's, I think, one thing that needs to be remembered. So the initial, I would solve 3 mock tests in a day, but the last 1.5 days, I did almost nothing. So that would be.
Yeah, and like I started my jam preparation mainly from I think June of 2023, and the entire syllabus was covered within December, late December in 2023. So the last 1 month was left, and I spent it in solving mock tests and PYQs only, and nothing else. And like what I did was whenever I learned a new topic and I had to solve a few sums before I can move on to the next topic. So I tried to avoid, like you couldn't avoid it completely, but I tried to avoid the PYQ questions by during that, and so that the all the PYQs were untouched for me. And during the last 1 month, I have for us it was 2015 to 2023. So that's 9 years. So I had nine proper mock tests ready in front of me, and I started giving mock test. I think I gave the 2015 paper on 2nd of January, if I'm not wrong. So in the last, just solved the mock test and PYQs, and I didn't learn any new topics. Like I hadn't covered sigma fields and algebra. Like a very small portion of it was in the syllabus, but I had overlooked it and I had skipped it. But I didn't want to learn something new in the last 1 month, so I skipped it. Also, as Duti said, in the last 1 or 2 days, just chill and relax. Don't No need to take a lot of stress.
And another thing is, like, always, like, the past papers that you have are the best mock papers that you can get. So, like, even if you're taking the approach that I did, like solving all the papers as and when I'm completing a syllabus, at least the last 3 4 years should be kept unseen, which you need to attempt as mock. So, like, and even if you're solving the past papers, if you're like solving it in June, you are supposed to forget the problems in by December. Like, at least you won't remember it that much. So attempt all papers as mock tests, like all available papers as many times. So, like, same paper, you give it as a mock test 2 3 times, but like past papers are like very important.
So, looking back, what is the one thing that you feel that you should have done for improving your scores in the exam?
I started my preparation, like I used to follow class notes and everything very rigorously. I would study for my same very well, but like for jam, I started my uh, preparation after my same 5 instance, which was like around December 2024, like past papers and everything, like very rigorous preparation. So maybe I could have started doing those much earlier. Like, so, like, from your third year, like same five, at least June, July of the previous year, that's like a perfect time to start, I think.
So I did two. One of the mistakes I mentioned earlier was not being alert enough. The not true statements and the true statements. So always be alert during the exam. And other than that, I didn't complete the syllabus. So there were 2 or 3 topics that were mentioned in the syllabus, but somehow it got skipped, and that actually didn't go well for me. Like the thing that I was mentioning, in 2024 there was a very easy question relating to sigma sets or something like that, and I didn't know anything about that. Even if you know only the definition of that topic, then you would have easily solved that question, but I couldn't. So go through the syllabus, make sure you know each and every point in the syllabus. Questions can come from anywhere. And also, like when you are solving the sums, just try to take a simple approach at first. Don't take a very difficult approach. There was a problem in jam 2024 regarding likelihood or something. So I had solved many questions of likelihood in continuous variables and all, but in discrete variables, like I hadn't solved a lot of likelihood questions, and that was actually very easy. It was simply making a 2 cross 2 continue like 2 cross 2 table. There were two values of x, two values of y, and you just needed to find four likelihoods and just report the Emily that is the highest of those four. But somehow I didn't understand what to do and I just skipped that question.
So one habit that helped your jam preparation the most.
Whenever I solved a mock test, I would like keep track of the questions. Like, so after I complete, I have given the exam for 3 hours. I would go through each and every question once again. Like, I have been able to solve it. Well, the solution gives me another way, another approach to solving it. I would go through it. And like, keeping track of your mistakes is like the most important thing. Like, be aware of which is your strong area, which is your weak area. So that is like the most important thing. Analyze yourself where you are going wrong, where you can like you can take this thing a bit. You don't need to take this as seriously as the others. So like constantly keep analyzing your preparation level.
The habit that helped me the most is I would say consistency. You need to not give up and just even if you have if you, in a day, suppose you try to solve 10 questions and you couldn't solve any of them, then the next day you start afresh again. And other than that, you need to like learn at your own pace. That is very important. Like no one is same, and like some of your friends might be over with the syllabus, and you have still have 50% of it to cover. That's not a problem at all. Just go it at your own pace. Like even if at the end, suppose you end up with at your pace, you are ending up with 80% of the syllabus covered, and that is I think better than just going fast and covering the full syllabus. Then the rest of the syllabus which is still uncovered, I don't think that, like you could solve many questions if you go very fast and not at your pace.
Like
Okay.
try to go through stuff in details. Like be confident about your concepts. So that like so you know what a particular topic is about, but you don't know exactly how it works, why it's working. You just know some formulas. That really won't help, because if something comes where you just need to think, like be in a position where you're able to think of the solution at the time if needed.
Yeah, and also another
Concepts
thing.
are very important.
Yeah, another thing is that I didn't like I'm very weak in memorization. So the moments that most of the people try to memorize the moments of the standard distributions. So unfortunately, I couldn't because I always forgot them. And like it's completely up to you. If you can memorize them, that then it's the best thing. But if you can't, like if you're like me, then try to practice calculating the movements, because what often happens that you think that you will be calculating the movements in the exam, which can be done. Like I've only like there was a some regard with some standard distribution, Pareto distribution I think, and I as usual I forgot the expectation and variance. So during the exam I had to do integration, calculate expectation x square, then calculate variance of x. So and I did that. So but if you are planning to do that, then practice calculating those moments, because out of like all of a sudden you are trying to calculate something very simple, that is calculating expectation of x, but you might often face trouble in that.
If you have to give just one piece of advice to a jam aspirant, what will it be?
Yeah, like as I mentioned, my senior mentioned that you have to stay calm. Imagine that it is there for you. You just need to put in your best and ensure it stays there for you. So don't give up. Give your best. Like give your best during the preparation, and then like don't be stressed that I need to do this, I need to do that. Take things as it goes and like see how you do it. Worrying won't really help you in the last few days.
Yeah, so always stay calm, as Duti said, and like the 3 hours of jam exam, I know it is very important in most of your lives, and it was important in our lives as well. It is still important. But remember that those 3 hours can like send you to a very good institution, and like but like even if something bad happens in those 3 hours, you couldn't do well, there is always other chances. Like after that you have other exams like CUET or ISIM studies there, and like those you can try to give those exams well if you don't have. So like always tell yourself that even if I couldn't give the jam exam properly, there are other opportunities for me. Like this is not the only chance. That will help to ease the pressure. Another thing I would like to mention is like we all make a lot of strategies. Like we'll be doing solving the papers like this, then we'll be timing our questions. Like we'll be giving 3 minutes to each question. So during the exam hall, I think most of them just vanish. I tried to like my at least aim was to solve each question in 3 minutes because timing was an issue for me. Luckily, I had an easy jam, so I just switched my practice. Like I would give generally 2 minutes to a question, just if I couldn't solve it, and then move on to a next question. Seeing my question paper, I realized it was an easy paper, so I needed to give all the questions a fair amount of time because there will be very easy questions. So I switched them and just if I couldn't solve a question in 1 minute, I just skipped over to the next one. I'll just like I'm a very big cricket fan, so I'll quote a line from Virat Kohli. So he said that before the match he would prepare for all types of bowlers, like how to play different bowlers, and he would make a lot of plans. But he once said in an interview that during the match and especially in pressure situations, all the like whatever you have planned just goes out of the box, and you just see the ball and hit the ball. So his words were, you see the ball and hit the ball. So I would recommend you to see the question and solve the question. Just do solve it.
Okay, so nice advices. Uh, Thank you, both of you, for taking your time out and sharing your experiences. I hope it will benefit a lot.
Yeah, all the best to all of them who are appearing this year for jam and also for ISI MStat.
All the best to all the people appearing for the exams. And if you ever have any doubt, reach out to us. We'll try our best to help you guys.
Yeah, you can reach out to any of us and we'll always help you.
So thank you.